That was Jeff Hodges. He just got released from the hospital.
Good, good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah,
So,
trying to get him in here.
oh, good. So, so the story goes like this. I created a product called the Mastermind, and what it was at that time was, I believe, 5 or 6 softwares at one monthly price, and we made it as cheap as one product alone. So it became what we call a no-brainer. So at the time, I was trying to figure out, doing the math and the calculation, what we could earn off of that, what we needed to accomplish certain things and certain goals for that product. And I could do the calculations and everything, we didn't want to offer it as a for sale product on JVZoo or Warrior Forum or do webinars for it. We did it privately, one face to face, one on one. Hey, Bill. So, make a long story short, I came up with a concept. We never fully engaged the concept. Um, it was just more of an idea that we never got around to putting in place. I can't remember. I know why we couldn't put it in place, because some of the softwares involved had co-owners or people that had invested in the creation of it, and Patrick and I didn't own it solely. But I came across the concept of licensing out the mastermind where JV partners could sell that package, make 50-60% commission on it, and I could license out 150, 100, or 500 licenses to resell that. And if they used it up, they could buy more credits in 25 packs or 25 licenses at a time. And by doing that, had we been able to move forward with that, we basically could have generated about 150 grand a month coming in gross revenue. And now here's the story behind that. The people that bought the original mastermind product from us, we had a 98% retention rate for over 4 years. I want that number to sink in for a minute.
Yeah, you all need to listen to what he just said. Retention rate in any project is almost the holy grail. Okay, that's a in the top 5 things of holy grail in regards to business. That is right up there. Wouldn't you agree, Gary?
Yes, it's everything.
Because what's the average? Tell them the just let everybody know what the actual reality of the numbers are today, even right now.
Most softwares, if we get 8 months retention on a piece of software before they cancel, uh, is we're okay. We consider that okay. We don't like to see a cancel, but we get some. And the reasons that you get them is either they accomplished what they thought they were going to with the software and they don't think they need it anymore. They lost clients, so they don't need it anymore, or something has taken place, or their budget got hit by something and they lost revenue somewhere, or potentially clients that they needed, or something on the market maybe come along that did as good a job, maybe in some cases. Any number of factors. But to get 4 years, the theory behind Mastermind that I did at that time was to make the value so high that nobody wanted to give it up. And when you create that value, your retention's forever. as long as it holds that criteria of having more value, more valuable to keep than it is to quit. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody?
And what Gary's talking about is a little bit different than network marketing and MLMs, because people are coming specifically to them for a purpose. Okay, so this is part of mentorship and understanding, being a student of a group of people or a couple of people that teach mentorship, and why you want to really understand these things, because the key words here, you want people to come to you for advice, for just to answer typical day-to-day questions that come out. But more importantly, once that relationship gets built and you go from somebody who only knows you to somebody that now likes you, that somebody will become to trust you and then fully trust you, what happens, Gary?
Well, know, like, and trust is the key to everything, right? Would we agree? Know, like, and trust is the key to everything.
And so when I put that message in there talking about the fact that Gary and I have a 90% plus retention rate, that is unheard of in network marketing or MLMs. Would you agree, Gary?
Do you agree?
There's a reason for this. There is an absolute reason for this. And this is what each and every one of you want to be able to learn.
All right, Bob, I'm going to share my screen real quick. And let's make sure. There, guys, let me know you can see my screen.
We got you, or I got you.
Now, remember
Yes.
last
Did you
week,
start recording?
yeah, I did.
Okay, great.
Remember, always click some follows and keep building your number up. But I want to talk about the algorithm for Instagram. It does not work like Facebook. Okay? And the algorithm for Instagram will show your content to a lot of people if you do it the right way. What's the right way? Anybody have an idea of what we're talking about here? Let me pull my chat and bring it over.
I don't. I'm using Instagram, Gary, by default. As you know, part of Facebook Pro connects you to Instagram,
Right.
so I haven't focused on Instagram. But you're absolutely right.
All right, let's talk about it for a minute. I'm going to make some, we're going to go to Chat GTP, so I'm going to switch over to there. And let me know you can still see my screen when I go over there, please. Once it loads up anyway. Ah, I hate that. Okay, let me get all the way to the bottom. So here's what I want to cover with you. We all have a niche, right? We want to attract people in the niche that we want to work with, correct? Everybody agree that's true? What do you think, guys? You don't want to attract people outside the niche you're trying to reach, do we? So we're gonna ask Chat GTP. Well, come on. I'm being dragged down by my computer. Maybe I'll try Copilot instead. So what I'm going to ask for, go ahead, Jay. I'm going to ask it for some sayings that are by some of the most famous networkers in the world or people that encourage entrepreneurship. Whenever I see Copilot, since it's up from my bottom, give me one if you can see Copilot. Okay, good. I didn't spell that right, so I hope it now, why am I doing this? There we go. That's the perfect list. Now, watch what we're going to do with this. Let's take this one. I like this one. I like this one too, though. All right, let's copy this one, Control C. Anybody have an idea what we're doing here? Give me one if you can see what we're working on. Everybody's quiet today. Oops, I didn't give it the text. My bad. Yeah, it's Facebook or Instagram, but what can we do with these images, with these sayings? We can make reels out of these. Okay. We can make images for Instagram or reels, and we could combine some of these sayings into videos, short little videos with 4 or 5 of them. And they're going to be speakers that everybody recognizes and value. Okay. So I'm going to change this image. Okay. So how many people are going to recognize the name Jim Rohn or any of the other speakers out there, guys? Exactly. And who are you wanting to attract to your profile? Those are the people you want to attract to you, right? You want them to follow you. You want to build up your followers to that 100,000 range. Okay. 50,000, 100,000, and keep going. So take these images, you can download them, name them, you can turn them into reels and videos, and so on. How many of you have the ability to make a video right now? Or how many don't know how to make a video right now? Good, Jeff. Hey, welcome, Jeff. Glad you're back with us. Can you see the value of putting the right content out there before you hit them with your opportunity? Look, one thing that we all do, Christine, if you'd like, we'll make our next week's training, or even tonight, depends. The next one you're on, I'll teach people how to make a video from scratch. How would that be? We'll just do one whole training on making videos, if that's okay. It's not difficult, it's pretty easy. Yes, short reels is the way to go for TikTok and Facebook and for Instagram. We'll go ahead and do an image. I'll download this image. We'll do a couple more and then we'll post them. We'll leave that name. I like that. So let's go back up. How about Tony Robbins? Ah, look at this, guys. Do you think this fits?
Has anybody gotten to be able to see Tony Robbins in person yet? I have. Amazing. What did you like the most about what you experienced at one of his events, Christine?
Mm.
The one event I got to go to was before he, he's evolved, has
Oh
he
yeah,
not, Gary?
yes, he has.
Just like anybody has to. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. But one of the things that turned me off personally was when he decided to use a lot of cuss words in his presentations. And
Yeah.
evidently that didn't fare well for him in the long picture of things because he got away from that. Okay. But the number one thing that I got out of the event that I was in, I wasn't close enough, because if I'd have been close enough, I'd have made sure he picked me. Gary knows how I am. But he's got a habit of picking someone out of the crowd and allowing them to go through their angst, allowing them to go through what has happened to them, for them, not for them, over some period of time. And he has a brilliant mind of being able to take that information very quickly and quantitatively and put it into an action to reverse the negative side of these things into the positive side of these things, which is what I've been working on for a long time in part of the things that I teach, which is so very critical, very critical. Right, Gary?
Yes. Now, notice this. This is one thing you'll learn real quick with AI. Its brain sometimes gets a little bit of gas to it. I asked it to put Tony Robbins, and it credited Jim Rohn instead. So yeah, sometimes you got to play with it to make it take adjustments. Even though my prompt was correct, it didn't realize that. So does everybody understand that these images, reels, or videos, or any of the above, you're attracting the people that are familiar with these names, and Instagram will automatically put your content in front of those kinds of people. How unique is how great is that for you if you learn how to take advantage of that? What do you think, guys and gals?
I can tell you what I think. You remember the other day, Gary, when I called you up and asked you about working with me on a little bit of this?
Yes.
Because I'd never done any of this with AI yet. And I'll be honest with you. It's not that I'm not Bob the Builder, because I've got Gary that does the building and other people that build things for me. It's that I've been probably like, give me a one if it's a scary thing that you think about using AI, or what AI might mean to you in your mind. Give me a one. Let's be honest with each other, because I was scared to death of it, and not scared to death of it being afraid of it personally, but just scared of trying to learn something new that I've never done before, because I don't want to fail using anything that I've never done before, right? I think we can all agree to that. But if you don't try, this is me. I wasn't trying yet, and so I needed to do something, and I needed Gary's help. And how long did we spend together?
Wasn't very long. It was pretty quick.
It was pretty quick, and I ended up using Copilot for the project that I needed his help with. But once I understood the prompts, and what the prompts are is what Gary is showing you here that he's telling AI to do. So once you learn how to do the prompts, and even if you get the prompts wrong, it doesn't matter because you can look at it and go. And what I didn't know is I didn't break anything. I thought, well, if I did that, gosh darn it, I broke it. Well, no, you just start over. But basically, what it was I was on a Zoom with India, and most of it was in Hindi, of course, and then translated by one of their translators. Okay, and it was about 2 hours long. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to, and those of you that are in some of our other groups, like the DesAlps group, will know because they've seen a summary that I put. I didn't write that summary. What I did was I took that video and I literally put it into Copilot after I downloaded the transcript of it. And the first thing I told Copilot to do was translate it into English. The second thing I told Copilot to do was to take a specific timestamp from here to here and compress that into a summary. Now, I wouldn't even know what I'm talking about right now had it not been for Gary and the teaching of what he's doing right here. But what this did was there was so much important information that I didn't want anybody to not go, because what I could have done was I could have just put the video up, right, Gary?
That's true.
Yeah, I could have just put the video into the group, which we do, right, from time
Right.
to time, and just said, hey, start at minute 12 and listen to this all the way to the first 30 minutes or so. That's the easy thing to do. Okay, so that's not what I did. So again, what I did is I had it translated, I had it compressed, and it actually took the transcript and it broke it down into a format. The first iteration, as I called it. But what was interesting was immediately it saw where I was, evidently, it actually knew where I was trying to go with this and started offering me different suggestions. Isn't that right, Gary?
It always will
Yeah,
offer.
it started offering me different suggestions. So, as an example, it said, well, now, do you want to take this information and do you want to just make it a straight line by line bullet point type of summary? Or do you want to take this and put it into, it gave me like 3 or 4 different formats. So I tried these different formats. I call them different iterations, and then settled on one that I thought would be good enough for everybody to get the actual information. This now is a clear understanding to me what the use of AI is for. Go ahead, Gary.
All right. It's creating a carousel of images now. So now we can do multiple images one at a time. See, it learns as we go. It learns what you're looking for to a point. And like Bob said, it'll make suggestions. So once we have these images, we have multiple places to use these images. Can we use them in videos? Yes. Can we use them as a reel? Yes. Can we use them just as an image? Yes. Where would you use them as an image, folks? Give me some places to use them just as an image. Come on now. How about Pinterest? How about Facebook? Instagram? We'll start there. The images are the kind of content that Facebook loves. Now, it's not going to it's not going to change its algorithm for you the way it's set up, the same way Instagram will. Okay? Now, unfortunately, well, it was supposed to make a carousel. It's only taking the first ones. It's repeating the same one. Didn't quite understand what I'm looking for. So what I would do here, and for time's sake, I'm not going to do it today. I like this one. And I'll download that one. But for time's sake, I won't make a bunch more. It won't make sense. So I think you can see how to do this. There's nothing here that's difficult on this end of it. But now you can do something with these images. How long did that take really to make these images and ask it for some sayings? In fact, I'll save some time. I'll go grab the sayings and cut and paste them for you. I tell you what, let me put it in a doc for you. Might be easier. Come on. You can tell I'm pushing the limits.
We lost William and Aranda. Their internet's not very good, Gary.
My internet's good, but my resources are tapped. So there we go. So let me move this over here. Oh, come on. I'm kind of spinning. So I may have to put this in the Mentor 10 room for you guys. If I have to, I will. Because I'm just kind of spinning. So Yeah, it's kind of fighting me there. I can see it's stuck on the X, so it's not gonna work until get past that. But I will get this doc to everybody. Meanwhile, I can cut and paste it in here too, if it'll take it.
While Gary's doing that, and we've got a little bit of time left, some things came up today, and I want to share this with you because it has to be part of your process. Okay, when Gary was talking about earlier, and he was showing you in Instagram to follow people. Okay, because there's this thing, follow me, I'll follow you, which is pretty ordinary. Okay, and in a way, so in Facebook, it's a little bit different. In order to get people to follow you, it's a little bit different. Okay, from a process standpoint, really, to get people to follow you, first of all, if you've got your 5,000 friends, then they don't have any other choice but to follow you. So if you don't have 5,000 friends, then they have a choice of either following you or friending you. The issue with Facebook's algorithms is when Facebook looks at what you're doing, they don't care who your friends are. I don't know why, because your friends have just as much opportunity to come onto your posts and engage with you as quote followers. But I guess it's the algorithm that they're looking for in followers, that somebody actually follows you by following your post on a regular basis. And so that's why they key in on followers. Just know that for one point. Okay. The next part of this is, in the process, you got to decide who you're going to do business with. So there's all of you all here, mostly we know that are involved with us in different organizations. Okay. So we pretty much know your demographic. Okay, so as an example, William's not here. William is the CEO of the Seeds Academy, an orphanage that's been in business for 20 plus years in Rwanda, Africa. So his demographic is a little bit different, but he will get there indirectly because he is a professional in that niche. Okay, because that's what you're trying to do. Your goal, okay, is to become the consummate professional that everybody goes to in your niche, okay, because you are the number one problem solver for them. Remember this. If you don't remember anything, they don't care. Nobody cares about your business. Nobody cares about DisAlps. Nobody cares about Save Club. Nobody cares about Veritas Vault. Nobody cares about Herbalife or Amway or that's not why people join those businesses. Tell me, give me somebody out here. Tell me why people join a business. I'm not talking about just every once in a while somebody trips over and just joins somebody in the business because they don't know them. Tell me the number one reason why you think people join a business. I want to hear this. Come on, guys. Like Gary says, we're interactive. Bill Saunders, they join people. Okay. Now you look at that and you go, well, wait a minute. Amway still has 1 million active distributors, and they started business in 1956. That's a fact. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that means that Amway has a business model that has survived and evolved for how many years? 60 years, 70 years or so. And that's a testament to them. Ladies and gentlemen, they do not need to be promoted. It is you that needs to be promoted. Right, Christine. Okay. The know, like, and trust. Everybody and their brother does one most very bad thing in promoting a business, a service, a product, and they throw their affiliate link out there and think that people are just going to flock to your post. What does anybody think about that? I hope everybody that's been with us for any length of time knows the answer to this one. 1 to 10, are they going to join you because you put your affiliate link out there? 1 being no, they're not. 10 being they're absolutely going to join you. 1 to 10.
Probably closer to 0.
Yeah, but there is that one I'm talking about that could trip over and
Yeah.
find out and find you. Okay, but this is the part. You need them to find you, and yes, they need to know. They will know by default the businesses that you are promoting or products that you are promoting and how you go about promoting them. But why you want them to come to you, relationship marketing 101, attraction marketing, is they come to you because they see the content that you post on social media that attracts them to you. Now, if you're posting stuff about Democrats and Republicans and your views, I'm going to tell you that's going to turn off half of the people, at least in the United States. Not a recommendation. Not that you can't have your views. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something totally different. So, first things first is you got to know the exact demographic of who you're looking for to do business with. Then you've got to know where those people are. Yes, they're on Facebook. No, they're just not going to arbitrarily come to you when you've got 200 people that you have, or even if you've got 1,000 people. Okay. It took me 2 years and I have 7,000 followers before I learned myself how to do what I do to attract people to me, to come to me for answers to their questions about their problems. Okay. Because I'm a problem solver. I have become a person that they come to when they have problems and issues with what they're trying to do, whether it's in their life now as a life coach or whether it's in their business as a business coach. Okay. And that took me a long time to develop those relationships. So, folks, this is not an overnight success thing. It's going to take some time, it's going to take effort, and it's going to take you consistently doing the right things to attract people. So what Gary's doing is showing you different ways to attract people, because when you learn how to do that and you post these things, then people that are following you look at that and they're going to say, "Hey, I I need to learn how to do these kind of things." Well, Christine knows how to do it. Jeff knows how to do it. I see Armando is doing it. So I'm following you. So now I want to know how you're doing it to help me. Just remember, what is problem solving? It is providing a solution or solutions to issues that challenge the average person that's never made a dime marketing anything, right, Gary?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted you to hear that part. The next part, and I'm going to give this back to Gary, is when you start building your funnel. Okay, so organic marketing is what I do on Facebook. I do not spend money on Facebook ads. Never have I spent a dime on Facebook ads, except many, many, many moons ago. I spent like 28 bucks on Facebook ads. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. But what I've done specifically over the last 2 years is attraction marketing and organic marketing, meaning that, yes, I put the time in to do what I do. And so much so that Facebook now is paying me to post content to draw people. Okay. And that was by default. That's not why I did or that I do what I do in Facebook. Okay. But what I'm saying to you is you have to build your funnel. Okay. So if you only have a couple of hundred followers, you need a couple of thousand. I'm just going to tell you. So part of your process has to be daily reaching out to where your demographic resides. And where do your demographic resides? Your demographic in the network marketing, MLM, affiliate marketing, direct selling niche are all in the advertising groups. And there are literally tens of thousands and then hundreds of thousands, millions of people that you have access to. So it's not for a lack of access, it's for a lack of understanding where to access them and how to attract them. So the next step is the attraction. So you don't go into groups and advertise your product, your service, or anything like that. What you do, if you're going to advertise, you advertise this right here, the training, free training. If you're going to advertise in network marketing, MLM, affiliate groups, you advertise free training and the kind of experience that you are having. This is the easiest way to start attracting people to you. If you're going to post anything, okay, what you also do is you go through the members list that you have in common with. Okay, what's in common with is people that are following you or people that are friends to you, and you go through that, and you take a little bit of time. Now you can't do this too fast anymore. You can probably do about 10 to 15 ads in an hour, and you might have to do it. I used to be able to do 10 in a group and go do 10 in a group and do 10 in a group, and you can't do it that way anymore. They will stop you. They will slow you down. They'll say you're doing it too much. Okay? They do that on purpose. They even do it to me still. All right? But you still have to consistently on a daily basis start building your funnel. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to do business with these people. That means that you're trying to attract these people, because when you add somebody as a friend or you follow somebody in these groups, the ones that are serious about doing business want to share their business with you. Allow them to do that. Okay? There's psychology behind this. The point, though, being is that you're building a funnel every day and you watch your notifications. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you see that all of a sudden you've got 4 or 5, 6 people that are trying to friend you back. They're trying to accept your friendship. Okay? To eventually, with those people, if they're the right type of person for you, you will what? You will actually then which is going to be another training, get into the process of communicating, and that's another training. But I'm going to share something with you that you have to understand, regardless of you understanding anything else. You only want to do business with people that not just want to do business with you, but that you can help, number one, because you can see, you'll be able to go. And so all these people, let's just say you got 5 in your notifications list. You take them one at a time and you go to their profile and you view their profile. And now you're doing your own investigation, because you're not going to do business with just anybody and everybody. You start having communication without going and looking at somebody, and you don't know if you're communicating with somebody that you damn sure would never even talk to, much less do business with. Okay, so this is where you start separating the people that you are not going to do business with versus the ones that you want to help and potentially do business with. And if those type of people, when you go and you investigate them, are doing things that you would look at that and you go, hey, there's no way that I can connect with them, whether they're because they got a lot of hate stuff on their profile, or they're following people that are very, very bad people because it's a cult thing. I'm not going to name any names, but I'm just going to share with you something very, very critical. Once you friend somebody and you think that doesn't mean anything, in the picture of just day-to-day Facebook itself and just being on social media, the answer could be yes. But what you're trying to do is become a person that everybody wants to come to for help. And the first thing that those people do is they look who your friends are. They look at who you're associated with. They look at who you potentially might be doing business with, whether you're doing business with those 5,000 people or not. So part of your job is also cleansing, getting rid of people that do not engage with you and getting rid of people that all of a sudden you find out these are not people that I would ever do business with. These are not people that I would never introduce my mother to, as an example, is what I'm trying to get to you with. Okay. So be very, very careful with that part of your process because it is imperative that you are squeaky clean. But you have to trust me on this. It is imperative that you're squeaky clean and you do not connect yourself with anybody that's going to do what? Put you into a bad light, disparage you. Now, that doesn't mean that people don't come onto your Facebook page and raise hell with you about this or about that. That's not what I'm talking about. Gary knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm just going to tell you that when you decide to use Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, or anything for business, you might as well look at it like this. The world is now looking at me. And how am I representing myself? How do I look? And this is why we talk about how you represent yourself as well, which is another training. But I wanted to get this across to you. Anybody got any questions on what I just shared? Throw them out there or unmute. Otherwise, I'll give this back to Gary.
Hey, Bob, can you see the image I just made?
Yeah. How old were you there? About 45?
I don't know. It's an older picture.
Yeah.
But the point that wasn't the point. What it's not the image. It's personalized the saying and putting each of you out in front.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, I don't know that you opened a new Facebook. I think you opened up a page.
Well, the thing is if you have more than one profile, here's the first thing I forgot to mention to new people. Facebook Pro, and I need to show this at some point. We're running out of time here, but Facebook Pro is free to use. Okay. And Facebook Pro you want to use on Facebook because it gives you all kinds of analytics that are going to tell you what you're doing is good or what you're doing is not so good. Meaning that you're getting the reach. So if you go and Google what's the average reach for any individual on Facebook, go Google that. Sometimes you'll see 6%, sometimes you'll see 10%. So it might surprise you that I can tell you that my engagement runs anywhere on any given day from 30 to 50%. And my attraction runs higher than that at times. And right now, my viewership is up over the last 28 days. My viewership of my content is up 63%. Okay. And these are important numbers to me because that tells me what I'm posting is either good for what I'm trying to do or it's not so good for what I'm trying to do. And that's reflecting in the bottom line. The Holy Grail is not just getting somebody to connect with. The Holy Grail is getting that somebody you're connecting with to eventually sign up in your business. Would that sound right, Gary?
It does.
And that's without having to spend a lot of money to do it because you got two ways to market. If you've got big bucks or you've got access to thousands of dollars a month in disposable income, and you don't want to do the work, then you do the, well, I'm going to buy the package that I can just put my stuff out there and it'll go through this funnel that somebody else has built and it'll go into their autoresponder, which means it's not your people anymore. And then I'll spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month on Facebook ads and let them managing it. And you that's there's no problem with that. Matter of fact, if you have the capability of doing that, more power to you. But I'm going to suggest that probably most of you don't have the capability of doing it, or if you did, I can guarantee you come to Gary and I, and we can make sure that we redirect that disposable income to better help you. Okay, because we can tell you more about the last 40 years, what does not work, and today what does not work, to save you time and money, and that's why people are coming to us, right, Gary?
Yes.
Back to you, bro.
All right, we're going to do one more image.
Oh, but I didn't really answer Christine. So what happens is if you have more than one profile, you can't use Facebook Pro. I don't know why. It just is what it is.
Yeah, you want to stay away from, you can make pages, but not profiles or groups. You can make groups.
Yeah, I would do groups.
There's no, folks, there's no limit to the number of people can be in a group. You can only have 5,000 friends, but you can have a group with 1,000,000 people in it.
Correct.
So, guys and gals, is there anything that I've shown you today that you can't actually do? Is there anything here that you can't do that I've done today? Give me a one. It's doable, right? So, Christine, I'm not going to try and pick on you, but I am a little tiny bit. If there's nothing hard here, what stops you from doing this? It's a 4-letter word, right? What's the 4-letter?
I had it. I did.
Exactly.
I have to raise my hand.
Yes. The
Fear.
4-letter word
It's fear.
here. But there's nothing here to be afraid of.
Time and confusion. I'm glad you bring that up,
All right.
Christine, because the confusion means that you have not come to understand what we're teaching yet. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Because this is why we ask for feedback. And anything that we do, anything that we say that we're trying to teach, we're constantly going to ask for your feedback. And the first thing is you can't fear to be able to say, hey, I think you're full of shit, Bob, or I don't know what the hell you're doing, Gary. Because Gary will get into doing things that are above my head still. Okay. But that's just because Gary's got that much more experience in things that I do not. Okay. That being said, is we have to develop a beginner's class. And Gary and I've talked about this over and over and over. A beginner's class on every different topic in a beginner's class, and nobody moves out of beginners until they're not beginners anymore. But the time is relevant. And I teach time management. And I'm going to give you a real quick time management. We don't have time for me to go into depth and detail, and I need to make a PDF on it, which is something I've been in fear of. Okay. But anyway, time management. Okay. Christine, I'm going to pick on you. Sorry. Do you have a full-time or part-time job right now? Are you with me, Christine? Multiple gigs. Okay, multiple gigs. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay. But let's do a real quick. Let's just say here's one of the things you got to decide. How many days a week you're going to commit to what you need to learn to do before you actually do anything. Okay. So that is question number one. How many days a week am I going to commit? Okay. Because there's only 24 hours in the day. So you can easily come up with about 20 hours a week minimum. I can get you there easily, but it starts with you and your commitment to learning what you have to learn, because you can't just decide, well, I'm going to come see this today and then maybe I'll come back a month from now. Ain't going to work. We
And
only do this once a week.
I have a question for Christine myself.
But hang on a second, Gary. So Christine, eliminate the hours that you sleep. If it's 12 hours that you sleep, it doesn't matter what it is. This is how you get there. You eliminate the hours that you sleep on those given days. So if you decide that it's 3 days a week, Bob, I'm going to commit 3 days a week to learning, then you pick those days of the week first. The next thing you do is that you still sleep. Okay. So if it's 8 hours a day, then you subtract that. Okay. If you have multiple gigs, you got to decide how many hours a day that you have to do. Okay. Because what I'm talking about is you're going to remove time out of this equation that has to be taken away because you have to do something that will eliminate that time from learning. Okay. So once you identify all those things that are going to eliminate the time from learning, you take those out of the equation. You start with 3 days minimum. Got to be 3 days minimum. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't care. You pick the days. It doesn't matter. Okay. Take the hours that you sleep out of the equation. Take the hours that you work to gain an income to pay your bills out of the equation. You go to church. Take those out. You have a charity that you're involved with. Take those out. You volunteer for stuff. Take those out. You have a life. If you have a boyfriend, if you have a fiance, if you're married, if you have children, you have to take those hours out. And then you're going to have a set amount of hours in. Your goal is to get 10 minimum to 20 at least hours in a given week that now you can start writing down in your commitment to yourself, because this is what you got to do. You got to write this down and then put it on your forehead, put it on your mirror, put it on your refrigerator door, that I'm spending 10 hours a week, or I'm spending 15 or 20 hours a week, whatever that number is that you come to. But you have to commit to that. And then you have to what? You have to put that into action of what you're learning, because everybody has a different learning curve. Everybody does. What may take somebody a couple of weeks to understand and get in the habit of doing may take somebody else a month, as an example. But until you do this, ladies and gentlemen, until you do this, you can't get there. Go ahead, Gary.
I was going to ask, and this applies to all of us in a sense. If you're comfortable answering the phone, then I would also look at your local. Everybody generally has a free paper, comes out once a week, advertiser, thrifty nickel type of. Those are very cheap to run an ad. They're not real effective, but you can get calls off of them. Okay. And when you get a call off of those type of ads, there's one thing for sure. The timing is right, or you wouldn't have got the call. Would you agree to that? That's the case. If the timing is right for somebody, and they're open to opportunity, then you have a high percentage of closing. Now, the problem that you're going to have is they're also quite inexperienced. Okay. So they're more of a local market working type of concept. More of the old style restaurant meeting or something of that nature, or home party to build whatever they're going to do. So they require a lot of help. Okay. But I've had more success than most people running an ad in the advertiser we have here, particularly because of the market that's here. But that's just a thought process. I've used it, I've made it work, and I'm comfortable with it. If you're comfortable answering the phone about your particular opportunity, then you could do well at that. And I want to leave everybody on a note. We've discussed this before. I started adding my phone number into my post, guys. And the number of calls that I've received kind of blew me away because I'd never done that before. But I tested it. And in the testing, it's a little more, it works a little better than I had ever dreamed it was going to work. Guys, I exceeded 40 calls in the last 30 days. All right. What do y'all think about that? Give me a thought process before we end the call. Is it worth doing? Now, I'm not talking the kind of post right here where I'm not posting, you know,
Show them an example of what you're talking about, Gary.
my
Of what? Show them an exact example of where you posted your phone number and what social media and where the ads are coming from.
Only on Facebook, guys.
Well,
And
show them an example.
I'm froze, so I can bring up an image, but that's all I can bring up.
Bring up an image.
Yeah. A Mentor 10, for example. Or the ones that I've done it on, I've done it with the save on your electric bill videos. I've done it on that. I've done, let me pull up an image.
Find you, Gary, and I'll show them.
I like this image in particular. This is one of my favorites. See, I could leave my phone number on this image. And if I get a call, they're looking to what we're doing. Okay? Let me show you another one. Let's see. That's my logo one. Any of these would work. This is the one I'm looking for right here. I think it's the one Bob likes the best too.
Yeah, I just gave him that link. I had to scroll through all your stuff with Democrats and Republican crap to get to. And I give Gary shit about this, just so y'all know. Sorry, my French. But I'm going to suggest to you something something that you want to think about. Now, if you go to my Facebook profile, you see that I post things about Jesus, about God. Okay. But I won't post about religion, meaning I'm not going to post stuff about the Catholics versus the convicts, or the Catholics versus the Protestants, or this or that. And I darn sure will never post Democrats versus Republicans, or my thoughts. I would love to. Trust me what I tell you. I've got plenty of thoughts. But the point being, hang on a second, Gary. The point being is that think about this from the perspective of what you're trying to promote yourself to be. If you decide to be political, because that's what you're doing, when you post something political, because that's what it is, on your Facebook page that you're using to promote yourself with, half the country is going to be pissed off at you. So if you only care about 50% of the opportunity to gain a new business partner, or you don't want to do business with people that don't think the same way that you do, that's up to you. I get that, but I'm just telling you from a marketing perspective. The other thing is Facebook analytics, Facebook algorithms. They're terrible. Your reach and you think that you're reaching with those kind of posts. I guarantee you're not. And if you use Facebook Pro, I can prove to you that you're not. Okay. And then once people start seeing that that's what you're doing more than not, they're going to quit following you. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, and you're right on. I've given a lot of thought to this about easing up on some of what I do, but I'm a fighter, so
No, I
jump in.
love your fight. I love your fight. That's not what this is all about. I mean,
See, and I sometimes I just lose thought about that. But see, now this is one that Bill Saunders did, guys.
I love it.
He did a very, very good job with it. I've made some variations of it based off of his. So anyway, for
If
this,
you all, can you hear me, Gary?
yes. Go
Can you hear
ahead.
me, Gary?
Yes.
Yeah, if you all will click on the link that I put there in the chat, that's going to go to Gary's profile. It's going to pick up that particular post, okay, which I love the image that he come up with. Why? Because it's very professional. It's all the bullet points of what you might not want to be doing versus what you probably should be doing, okay? But more importantly, read the text in his post, okay? And then go look at what he's doing when he's talking about putting his phone number in there. This is where his phone calls are coming from. Go ahead, Gary.
Well, I think it sums it up really well. I didn't know that it would work, but after testing it, I found it did. Now you'll get hangups because they're expecting to talk to a company's office or something sometimes. And they have the same problem that we all had. They have fear. I'll be there in just a minute, Shirley.
Well, something else that I want you all to start doing. Okay, I do this in some of our groups, and some of you that are here see this. Okay, I call it Spotlight Post of the Day. This is very critical in your process. Okay, especially in when you're working with teams of people. Okay, it's called, some people call it juicing. Okay, Facebook calls it boosting. Okay, in Facebook you can boost your post using money, or you can boost your post using engagement and the proper engagement. So when I see somebody, like I've spotlighted Bill Saunders before, I spotlighted Gary before, I spotlighted Beverly before. Okay, here's the point of this: is I do it in our groups with the expectation that everybody that's learning from us in the groups will all go out and do the same thing. And what is the same thing? That is going to her post and giving it an emoji. That's the first thing that Facebook likes. It's not the top thing, but it is one of the analytics. Okay. The analytics that Facebook loves is when you put a comment on there and you don't just put a face or you put an image and clap your hands. They don't like that crap. Okay. So don't do that crap. All right. Put a good comment on there. Now, I'm going to suggest to you that when you put a comment on somebody's post like that, that you engage them with a question. Now, why do I say that? Tell me, somebody give me the answer. Why does Bob say when you go to help boost somebody else's post that you want to go out there and put a quality comment in the form of a question? Why am I saying that? I need you all to understand this. Look at Gary. Come on. Beverly, I know you know the answer to this. Did everybody go to sleep on me? I probably put everybody to sleep. Okay, the reason that you put it in the form of a question is that starts what's called a thread. That means that when you put that there, regardless of the comment that you put, okay, think about it like this. I'm going to know that you put a comment on my post because it shows up in my notifications. So again, if you don't have your notifications turned on, turn them on. If you're not looking at your notifications daily from your post, shame on you, because you're not following what you need to be following with your own process. And if you're looking at your notifications and then I see people that never go back and even engage with the person that engaged with them, shame on you, because you're killing yourself. I'm just telling you. So the reason for the question is to continue the conversation. And the more conversation that is continued with quality comments, quality questions, okay, this is Facebook loves a person that tries to help other people. They love it by doing this for you. If you've got the 10%, use the 10% rule as you're learning. So if you've got 1,000 followers, you have the potential of 100 of them engaging with you. Now you ask yourself the question, well, okay, Bob, I got 1,000 followers, but only 10 are engaging. That's only 1%. Correct. That means you don't have the right followers. These are things that you've got to be paying attention to every day. If you're going to be in business and you want to use Facebook or social media as your platform, you've got to pay attention to what you're doing and how people are reacting or not reacting to it. And I know that by the amount of engagement and the amount of people that come, and Facebook allows them to see and they actually come. That's part one of it. But the question continues the conversation because it requires you to come back and continue the conversation. Right, Gary?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how long should a conversation be? Well, it doesn't matter. How long do you think you need it to be? Okay, because the other side of this is when other people, so what Facebook does is they start pushing your reach to more people. The more engagement, the more conversation, the more reach, the more people come and they're seeing what other people are saying to you. And if that appeals to them, what are they going to do, Gary?
You're gonna
What are
push
they
your
going to do, Armando? What are they going to do, Beverly? They're going to start following you. And these are not people that are already, these are people that are out there in the ether that don't even know you yet, that you haven't connected with, that you don't count on until Facebook starts rewarding you. And that's how that works. That's how this works, guys. I'm going to do at some point, I'm going to do a whole class on this and record it for y'all. But the thing is, in order for you to be successful with Project Mentor 10, you have to set yourself up for that success. And the first setting yourself up for is creating your profile to look professional. Okay. We're not faking it till we make it. We are professionals. We are professionally wanting to help others. That is our mission. Okay. Our mission is not, see, I have never talked to you about the Zalps in this conversation, about Save Club in this conversation, about Project Veritas Vault in this conversation. And I do not because it's not necessary. They will see that and they will, when they come to you, if they're going to come to you and they're going to say, Beverly, all right, I see you. I love what you're saying. I love what you're doing. You've given me some great solutions that have helped my business. But Bev, I want the whole enchilada now. Okay, Bob, you want the whole enchilada? This is how the whole enchilada comes to you. You're going to join me in one or more of my current businesses. This is the holy grail. This is where you get these people too. You stop selling your business. You stop selling your products. You stop selling your services. You start sharing the benefits of what a product does for you in a post. You start sharing your experience. Save Club is a prime example. You go and you use the benefits that the membership provides for you, and you share the experience. What happens? Well, what happens normally, and it happens for me, happens for my wife, and she's in Gulf Shores, Alabama, doing it. But what happens is they come and they say, "Well, wait a minute. I don't know about this. I don't have this." Yes, you do have it. You just don't know about it. Okay? Start with yourself. You make yourself the go-to person of the world, and don't sit there and think, well, wait a minute, Bob, you're already there. Gary, you're already there. I can't I can't take 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Nobody's telling you it's going to take 5, 15, or 20 years, but it darn sure ain't going to happen overnight. Right, Gary?
Oh, won't happen
Yeah.
that way.
You go ahead and close her down.
Well, folks, here's what we're going to focus on next week. I didn't get a chance to post today because I ran into some computer problems. But next week, I'm going to focus on making simple videos with just images and audio and how to do it without paying any money. Because you want to be able to do it without spending a ton of money, right? Anybody want to spend a whole bunch of money just to do that?
Nah, he's
No,
not going to go back. Sorry.
no, you're okay. So, as homework this week, what are you guys gonna do? I'll post these sayings in there for you to practice with. I would take an image of yourself, add it, and make yourself holding it like this, and see what you come up with. Now tell the AI what kind of background you want. Tell them you want to be on the beach or you want to be in a port, whatever you want. Play with it until you get comfortable. It's not very hard, okay? But I will put in the Mentor 10 room a doc with all these sayings and who did the sayings, and you can change it around if you like. But do a little practice this week, okay? And with that, we're gonna stop the share right there. And we appreciate everybody taking the time to be here with us. I'll be right there, Shirley. All right, guys, have fun. Enjoy your week. Lost your volume there, Bob.
Hey, great job. Hey, I need you to do me a favor so we don't
Yeah.
have to give that 15-page long link for a replay. Would
Okay.
you upload that to your channel so we can get a YouTube?
I will. Yes.
And then we can get the YouTube out to people.
Okay. You got it.
Sounds
Okay.
good. Thank you all. And hey, before you go, I know I wish I'd done this earlier, but it's being recorded. As I always do when we do training, I challenge each and every one of you for the next week that we're coming to, between now and then, bring at least one person. Some of you have a team of people in different businesses that we're working with. Bring them. Okay. Now, yes, this is the afternoon. We'll be back tonight and do this again tonight. Okay. But bring at least one person, because here's what happens. The more people that start coming to these trainings, the more people that say, hey, there's something going on here. There's not just 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 people here. There's 20, 30, 40. And then the next week, because we did this before, we built this up before to almost one day we had 500 and what?
5:15.
Yeah, which maxed out our Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it wasn't for the lack of training that went away. It was for that just particular business that had to stop. But anyway, the point being is that part of your process, remember, is to invite people to get. So the easiest way to help people in your industry is to give them access to training where they can learn and take some gold nuggets from our training, go do something. Because a lot of people that are our students now started out not even knowing who we were, took some of the gold nuggets that Gary gave, or I gave, or others gave that we brought as special guest speakers, and it worked for them, and they came back, and here we are. Is that right, Gary? About sum it up.
Uh-huh.
All right. Thank you. And for those of you that'll be back tonight, see you tonight.
All right, guys, have fun.